Hi Marianne and welcome. Thank you for coming along to our video chat again this week. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Dr. Kim. Thanks, good to see you.
Now, why don't you tell me what you've picked up this week in the workshops online?
Okay, so the first thing that I'd like to talk about, and I hope you'll bear with me while I use actually a few written examples
Sure.
to clarify, is about using pronouns and what noun they refer to. So I'm seeing kind of repetitively in everyone's work pronouns are being used, and we're not quite sure what they're referring to, and therefore it's confusing the sense of the sentence.
Oh, okay.
So without giving a full grammar lesson on it, I just wanted to talk quickly about a couple of things. So when you're using pronouns to refer back to nouns, it's called pronoun referent. Now, there's three things you have to look out for. That there's consistency in person. So, like, don't switch from third person to second person. An example of that would be something like, when a person comes to class, you should have your homework. So there you're switching from third person to second.
Yeah.
Okay, so how it should actually correctly be written is when a person comes to class, he or she should have his or her homework. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's one way that I'm seeing a lot of mistakes with that. Mm-hmm. Then there's just the clarity of what it's referring to. So, for instance, if you think of this sentence, if you include that song in the concert, it will be great. We don't know if you're referring to the fact that the song will be great or the concert will be great.
Right, okay, yeah, so that's not clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so sometimes you have to get around that, you actually have to repeat the proper noun. Mm-hmm. The song will be great. Yep. And lastly, it's about agreement of plural and singular, and I've seen a lot of this as well. So if you take the sentence, if a citizen keeps a dog in the city, they must buy a dog license. Now, that is incorrect. It should be he or she. So what you're mixing up there is a citizen and they. You've got a singular and you've got a plural. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're the three areas that it'd be good for people to perhaps go read about online if this is kind of too brief a snapshot, but it really makes a difference to the reader's comprehension and the ease of reading.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. And are there any other craft tips that we could pick up from this week's workshops?
Probably, the one that everybody knows, which is show, don't tell.
Yes.
And I guess what I would say about that is two things. Show, don't tell is very important to show when you're in the moment and in the action. There are instances where telling is necessary. If you want to pass like a period of time quickly, you don't want to spend too much time in it, then telling might be acceptable.
So when it's kind of a summary, like for example, rather than saying, showing every single time the character sits down to practice piano that week, it might say she practiced piano every day and by the end of the week she still hadn't quite got it. Something like that?
Exactly. That would be exactly an example of when telling is acceptable.
Cool.
So you don't need to show all the time, but certainly when you want to get deep characterization and you really want your reader in the moment, then you need to show. And I like, there's a lovely quote from Anton Chekhov, which I'll read to you, which is, "Don't tell me the moon is shining, show me the glint of light on broken glass."
Oh, wow, isn't that beautiful? And how bicultural are we? Chekhov, folks, that's who we've got for you this week. But that is lovely. I love that. And it's so true. You know how because a lot of the students will have done the grammar course, and there's the expletive construction. There was, it was,
Yes.
We were. Often that verb to be is a sign that you're actually telling us something and not showing us. So if you say it was cold, that has nowhere near the impact of I pulled my jacket closely around me, but still my skin was icy, or, my breath fogged in the air and my fingers, hurt from the frosty air or whatever. You know what I mean? It has so much more impact, I think. So I'm always looking for the verb to be, and I often think that signals a place where someone's told something they should have shown us.
Yeah, I think that's a really great hint, Kim, because expletive constructions are very distancing.
Yeah.
And you step right outside the character then, and you know, this harks back to what we were talking about with point of view too. And again, I just saw an example today where the sample stayed in third person, but was in and out of omniscient and close in the same couple of sentences. And so again, that you want to be conscious of, are you trying to be in this character's skin? And if so, you know, you don't want to use expletive constructions, and you don't want to use omniscient point of view.
Yeah, that's right. Because your viewpoint character gives you the access on the story. So they're the one, the showing is sort of showing in their viewpoint, isn't it? So it is linked, you're right. Yeah. Great. Yeah. All right, thanks very much for coming along again, Marianne. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks with more hot tips. Bye. Bye-bye.